This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
A lot of firms out there say they will do tax planning, say they will do Social Security planning and RMD planning, and typically they just do investment management. They want your money.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
Where do you stand today with your retirement accounts, with your insurance, with Social Security, RMDs, taxes, all of it? This is how we need to think. We need to think outside of the box on these matters.
Abe is here to help you unlock the keys to your retirement.
Trying to beat the heat and keep up all the good things of summer, Abe. How are you enjoying it thus far?
We're enjoying it. It has been hot.
Yeah.
And then, we've had some other weather mixed in too. It's hot and then windy. But hey, summertime is here and no complaints. And we're having a great summer so far.
And no, you're not spending the 4th of July at the beach. You're doing an early beach vacation.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll technically be back here in the D.C. area ready
Nothing
for
wrong with that.
Some fireworks and a D.C. area July 4th celebration.
I was going to say, there is just some places like New York and Christmas time, D.C. the 4th of July. We'll take it. Mark us down as a yes. The best place to be. And in the meantime, of course, there's no rest for the weary. Sorry about your summer vacation plans, Abe, because when it comes to this summer in particular, there are a lot of us that need a lot of help when it comes to figuring out this current market and economic climate that we are all in, and trying not to let ourselves get all caught up in all these headlines, although easier said than done. And of course, one of the bigger headlines that we got recently was another interest rate hike by the Fed as they continue to raise interest rates, trying to control inflation. But will it work, and how long will it take? Citibank's Kristen Bitterly gave her own take on CNBC. Here's what she said.
The Fed, I think, needs to signal to the market that they're inflation fighters. And so when we start to look at some of those pieces of the puzzle as to whether we could see inflation come down from here. Now, note, it's not coming down to 3%. It's going to come down to maybe 6.5 by the end of the year. That's where we could see at least moving in the right direction and potentially a pause.
So these high prices, they might be with us for a while, Abe, and some of it may be permanent. But what is the inflation rate that you're working to build into the plans in your office right now? And then the flip side of that, what's the danger of not having it as part of the planning process?
Yeah, great question, Heather. Well, you've got to have inflation built into a retirement income plan, because we all know there is typically inflation over the long term of 2.5% to 3.5%, kind of in that range.
Right.
And so usually we will build in an inflation adjustment into our clients' retirement income plans of 2.5% per year. However, a lot of clients are coming in, almost everyone we're meeting with that's coming in is concerned with inflation and how high it is and how long is this going to last, and is running a projection at 2.5% really fair, right? And is this really how things are going to look into the future? So some of our clients have asked to run illustrations showing a 4% cost of living adjustment, a 6% cost of living adjustment, just to make sure that 15 years from now, 20, 30 years from now, their retirement income plan is keeping up with their life changes and also keeping up with the stock market and also keeping up with inflation.
Got it.
So it is a serious issue right now. And it's one thing to have a lot of stock market money. It's another thing to have a lot of cash in the bank. And as we're talking to our clients and prospective clients about the market in this environment, a lot of them will say, well, at least I've got a lot of cash in the bank, or at least I have a lot of G fund money in my TSP or money market funds in my 401k. And I'll say, yeah, that's great. You're probably not losing any money there, but you're getting eaten alive.
Right.
By 8.4% inflation.
Right.
Okay, sure, you didn't lose any money, but if you're only making 1%, 2%, 3%, you're still really down 5, 6, or 7% when you
got to adjust your perspective, right?
Yeah, when you factor in inflation. So we can't just sit on the sidelines either. It's great to have cash for emergencies and investment opportunities, but we can't have cash there as a long-term hold and position, because we'll be eaten alive by this high inflation. We just had a couple call into the show and come into the office. They are in their mid-60s and mid-50s. So there's about a 10-year age difference between the husband and wife.
Okay.
They're snowbirds. They live in Fairfax County, Virginia, and Florida.
Got it.
They have over $10 million saved.
Wow.
So we've had a lot of people a lot of people coming in actually with even over $10 million saved lately. And it's a lot of money, but these people need help too. And surprisingly, people with a lot of money saved feel like they don't have a lot of money saved. Like
right.
We've had several clients come in lately with $10, $13, $15 million saved, feeling like they're strapped. Feeling like they don't know what to do. They don't have a plan. They have a bigger bucket of money, a bigger bucket of cash and stocks and bonds and deferred comp and restricted stock unit options and all of these things, but they don't know what to do with it and they don't know how to make sense of it. Why? Because all they're used to, Heather, is phase one, is getting up their own retirement mountain, is saving and accumulating. And man, they've done a darn good job of accumulating. However, I can't imagine what it would feel like to have $10 million, $15 million, even $1 million, $2, $3 million, and feeling strapped.
Right.
Feeling like you don't know if you're going to be okay. That is really terrible. That's terrible, right? So that's why they came in. And the husband is retiring at the end of this year, and they have a lot of money saved, but we found a lot of holes and gaps in their plans to include a lot of cash and bonds, which we call dead money.
Right.
And this dead money, although it's safer than equities and stocks and ETFs and index funds and all these growth funds, is getting eaten alive by over 8% inflation, year to date. So what was their problem, Heather? They had an accumulation plan, but no plan for phase two.
Right.
No plan to help them transition into their retirement from their working career. Only an accumulation plan. Too much cash, bonds, and dead money on the sidelines getting eaten away by inflation. What was the solution? For the first time in their lives, as they were just focused on working and accumulating, a retirement income plan. That retirement income plan is what we call a roadmap, GPS for your retirement.
Right.
It shows you where you're going. It may not show you what mountains we're going to run into, like an inflation mountain, like a major stock market drop, but it shows you where we're headed and are we on the right track? And do we have a surplus of income or a shortfall of income? Will your income keep up with inflation? What do things look like for the surviving spouse when the older spouse passes away, etc.? So what was the solution? Again, a comprehensive retirement income plan and a plan to get the cash and bonds and dead money off the sideline, working harder for them, a plan to move forward, a plan to reduce risk, and a plan to reduce fees as well. For those of you listening right now, if you are also in your 50s and 60s, you may not have 10 or 15 million. Maybe you have a few million. Maybe you have a few $100,000. But whatever amount of money you have saved for yourself right now is extremely important to you. And if you're feeling like you don't know where you're headed because you don't have a plan, you don't have a plan for phase two, for transitioning into retirement, you don't have a plan for reducing risk, for creating income, for reducing fees, for reducing taxes, and you feel like you need a roadmap and someone to help you with this transition and to get into retirement safely, we want to offer you that same complimentary holistic retirement plan that we offered this couple. It's what we call our Where Do I Stand Plan Review. With that Where Do I Stand Plan Review, Heather, that will also come with a plan for cash management and dead money. So for anyone listening right now, we want to offer you that same complimentary report. If you're 55 years old and older, and if you saved $500,000 or more for your retirement, go to retirementkeyradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin a conversation with you as well.
All right, so continuing this conversation about where we are right now, economically speaking, going into a question that really leans into something that you have said, I feel like at least 100 times on this radio program, week after week, Abe, the idea about what happened when COVID shut the economy down in 2020. The government went and pumped trillions of dollars into it to keep us going, and it translated into a quick recovery, plus many stocks soared to new heights. But economist Eddie Gabor is telling Fox Business that the market is now in for a dose of reality.
These bubbles are going to be popping one by one, and it's already happening. It happened in crypto first. It's down 50%. NASDAQ's down over 30 from its highs, and you're going to start seeing the larger cap plays do that. This market has to reset to where it was prior before we can move forward. So that means we need to be down at a minimum of 30% in the S&P, in my opinion, before we can even think about being close to a bottom.
30% is a lot to lose, particularly right before retirement, Abe. So let's talk about the risk assessments that you do in your office there at Abish Financial and how that can help people limit or even maybe stop some of these losses.
Yeah, Heather, we offer portfolio x-rays, so comprehensive risk analysis on 401ks, TSPs, IRAs, brokerage accounts. We get people's statements. We put all of the statements, all the holdings and positions into this comprehensive analysis, and it tells us how much risk someone's taking. It tells us if we had another 2008, what the potential loss would likely be. Okay. It also tells us how we did the last few years, which most people did extremely well. It also tells us how much risk we're taking and what are the fees in the funds as well. Heather, this has been the worst start to a stock market year since 1939.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. Okay. This has been the worst start to a bond market year since 1980. Jeez. It's ugly. Everything's down. The stock market's down. The bond market is down. And if you don't have layers of protection built around and wrapped around your life savings right now, you might be in trouble. And you might already be in trouble right now. But hope is not lost. You can take control. You can take action. And that's what I encourage people to do. Like Eddie was saying, we also believe the worst, unfortunately, is yet to come. However, there's a lot we can't control, but we can control how much risk we take. And that's what we want to focus on, what we can control. We just had a couple come in from Prince William County, the Woodbridge area of 95, and they came in because they are retiring in about 5 years. They are in their late 50s with $1.2 million saved. Their problem, Heather, like most people, is they were taking on too much risk. One of their accounts, get this, is down 37% year to date. Oh, no. 37. You're talking about, Eddie was talking about being down 30. They've surpassed down 30. Yeah. They're down 37. They're in 2008 territory right now. Jeez. And potential to be maybe have a worse loss in 2008. On top of that, what really hurts is they're paying 1.4% per year in annual fund expenses. That's like paying a financial advisor a pretty decent fee for no advice. Yeah, their money's in a fund, but they're paying 1.4% for it when you could get a fund at Vanguard or Fidelity or somewhere where the costs are low, down at maybe 0.08 or 0.1 and really save a lot of money per year on those fund expenses. So two problems right there, taking on too much risk, paying too much for their investments. We found this through the comprehensive portfolio x-rays we do, Heather, on 401ks, TSPs, and IRAs. So for anyone listening right now, if you sound like this couple and you've taken a hit this year, most people have, most people are down somewhere in between 10 and 20%, maybe even more. We want to offer you, for those of you listening right now, the same comprehensive portfolio x-ray and market loss recovery program review that shows you ways, if possible, that we can help to recoup some or maybe a lot of your losses you've had year to date. That's only offered through our portfolio x-ray. So if this sounds like you and you have these same concerns or similar concerns, go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we'll start the same conversation with you as well.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Investment advisory services offered through Abish Financial Wealth Management, LLC, number 310633, a registered investment advisor firm. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish Inc., Virginia license number 131017.